Hi class, my name's Andrew Kane, Mr. Kane, and welcome to Algebra 1 Lab. The purpose of this first video is to give you a quick introduction on what the class is, what does it mean to be in a lab class, what the expectations for the course are, how the course is going to be set up, and that sort of thing. So first of all, it is Algebra 1 and it says lab. The fact that it is a lab class, that does not mean that we are doing experiments. A lab science class is typically experiments, but not necessarily in a math lab. Really, definition of a lab course is a smaller individual course component that supplements larger lectures. You don't need to write this down. No notes in this video. Again, a lab course is a smaller individual course that supplements larger lectures. So you are currently enrolled in an Algebra 1 course. Algebra 1 covers all those big, huge topics that you'll be learning out throughout the year. The lab course, we have a smaller group here. We'll be able to focus on individual skills that will help supplement, will help you improve your Algebra 1 skills. So I guess I just kind of mentioned the purpose of the course. The purpose is to give you the additional practice that you need in order to succeed in Algebra 1. Everyone in here has been identified as a student that could use a little bit of additional math help, whether it's standardized test scores, whether it's your placement test score, whether it's recommendations from your previous school's teachers. But you've been identified as a student that could use just a little bit of extra help. So that's what this course is intended to do, to give you that extra help to kind of go back and review some of the material that you should have learned in pre-algebra or even before that will help you to be successful in Algebra 1. First and foremost, this is not a study hall. Let me repeat that. This is not a study hall, so you're not just going to sit and work on your Algebra 1 homework. We will be taking notes. We will be doing things that will help improve those Algebra 1 skills. So they are separate courses. You are taking Algebra 1 and Algebra 1 Lab. They're completely separate courses. You will receive separate grades. But again, the stuff that we cover, the topics that we cover here in this Algebra 1 Lab class should help you improve your skills for Algebra 1. This course is primarily completion. Almost your entire grade will be made up of things that you should be completing in class. We will take a few short quizzes, but again, it's primarily completion. Whereas your Algebra 1 grade, yes, you'll have homework that you probably get completion points for, but you'll have quizzes, a significant amount of them, and then you'll have big tests, assessments that you'll have to take. So you'll have to understand the material very well in Algebra 1. In here, yes, you need to understand the material, but your grade is primarily based on completion. Where it's going to help that you understand the material is by improving that Algebra 1 grade. The overall course setup, I teach Algebra 1A. I have 2 sections of that. I also teach Honors Algebra 2, and I teach our calculus courses. I will not be here in person to teach the course, but through a series of videos, I will be delivering the direct instruction for the course. You have another teacher that is moderating the course. It may or may not be a math teacher, but they'll be able to give you the help that you need when you are having questions on math material. A typical class period, so when we are on regular schedule, we have a total of 81 minutes to complete the class. There are 4 components to a typical class. Each will be about equal in length, so each of these will be about 20 minutes. We'll start out with some review. Typically, we will cover what we did the previous class period. We may watch a short video and take some very brief notes. It'll primarily be practice, individual practice, where you'll work on some problems, you'll check your answers, and make sure you have down what we worked on the previous class period. From there, we will move into direct instruction. The expectation is that you are taking notes just like you would if I were standing up in front of the class. Anytime you are watching a video and I'm going too fast, which might tend to happen, by all means, ask the instructor to pause the video. We can back the video up so you can rewatch and get the notes down that you need. But you should have a notebook for this class. It should be a notebook that is only for this Algebra 1 lab class, and you should be taking good notes during direct instruction time. From there, we will move over to online practice. Primarily through the website IXL. If you went to Cardinal Ritter last year, or I believe SMSG also uses IXL. If you went to a school that has used it before, I'm sure you're familiar with it. If not, you will very soon be familiar with it. And then finally, we will move into a class assignment. Notice I did not put homework. This is an assignment that you should have plenty of time to complete in class. Like I mentioned before, a typical class period, each of these is going to be about 20 minutes. It's an assignment that should not take any more than 20 minutes to complete. The goal is to have no additional homework for this class, but you do need to use your time wisely. In order to have no additional homework, you need to actually be working on the homework during that assignment time. It will be turned in to your instructor before you leave. Brief expectations on what you are doing in the class. The first is to be on task. So we had 4 things that you should be completing. Make sure you're actually on task and doing them. We mentioned before about taking notes, or if you're working on IXL, that's what you're working on. You're not jumping around on other websites. You're actually getting your work done in a timely fashion. And complete your assigned work, going hand in hand with being on task. So if you're on task, you should be able to complete the assigned work in the time that is allotted, especially if you are getting the help that you need. If you're struggling with a topic, if there's things you didn't quite understand, instead of sitting and doing nothing during IXL time, or just guessing on the assignment and just turning it in. Making sure you're asking the instructor for additional tips to talk you through a problem, to get you unstuck, so that you can actually learn the material and be ready to move forward and improve that Algebra 1 grade. And then finally, if you are ever absent, that does not mean that you have absolutely nothing to do. You should be jumping over to Google Classroom. On Google Classroom every day will be a post of exactly what we are doing each day. It will have the review. If there's a worksheet that we're working on, it'll be posted to Google Classroom. The link to the notes will be right on Google Classroom, so you should take the day's notes just as you would as though you were in class. The IXL, you should give yourself 15 to 20 minutes to work on IXL to complete the IXL skills that are assigned, and that assignment should be completed and be ready to be turned in the next class period. So again, my name is Andrew Kane. If you ever have any questions for me, I am putting my email address up here. I just told you not to take any notes. This is the one thing you might want to write down. My email address is akane@cardinalritter.org. You, of course, can reach out to the instructor of the course as well. Either of us should be able to give you the help that you need. So have a good day, and I will talk to you soon.